Yo, what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Maris Jr., and I'm joined today by a special guest. We got a pro boxer all the way from Australia, Liam Paro. How's it going, Liam?
Hey man, thanks for having me. Look forward to it, and I look
No,
forward to being on the show.
absolutely. And I know you're originally from Australia, but you're now based in Las Vegas, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so I was doing my camps over here, but I made the move here full time, and yeah, loving it, man.
Yeah, we're taking your career to the next level for sure.
Definitely.
All right, first question I got for you, Liam, is rather basic. I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but how did you get into boxing?
I was about 12 years old. It was rugby league's massive in Australia, so it was in the off season of rugby league, and I had a friend across the road doing his hand wraps, and I was just young and curious, and asked what he was doing. He said, "Doing my hand wraps, going to boxing." I asked to go along, and that was it. That was honestly it, and I fell in love with the sport then and there. So haven't looked back since.
Nice, and the rest is history, as they say.
That's it. Yeah.
And you have one of the greatest nicknames I would got to say, and with the prodigy. How did that nickname come about?
It was actually my coach. I think he gave it to me in my third fight, so he's putting the pressure on early on. But I perform under pressure, so it worked well, and we're now sitting 23-0. So it's stuck and it's working. So hopefully at the end of 2023, it's no longer the prodigy, and we'll have to change it to champ or something like that. But
Yeah, the
just got to
champion.
keep grinding.
Absolutely. And before we get into your pro career, can you tell us a little bit about your amateur career, some of your major accomplishments from back in the day?
Yeah, I had 64 amateur fights in Australia, which is a fair few. Nothing like the rest of the world. I represented Australia at the Youth Olympics in Bulgaria when I was younger. I won a fair few Australian titles, state titles. But other than that, I turned pro at 18 years old, so I was always set on the pros. And yeah, that's where my mom was set at an early age, so that's where I went.
All right. Yeah, but now speaking of your pro career, you signed with Matchroom Boxing about a year ago. Did you have any other offers you're considering at the time? And ultimately, why did you choose to sign with Matchroom?
There was a few offers here and there, but Matchroom, and Eddie Hearn there, I believe they're the best promotional company in the world, and his vision suited exactly what we visioned too. So it just worked well, and yeah, I haven't looked back since. I'm super excited to be under the Matchroom banner, and yeah, the big fights are coming.
Yeah, and they do global big events, so good choice there. And speaking of big events, your last fight in October versus Brock Jarvis, that was a big event in Australia. He was another undefeated fighter at the time. There was a WBO global title also at stake. Can you tell us basically about that fight, how you rate your opponent, and ultimately your performance?
Yeah, it was huge. It was Matchroom's first show in Australia. I was lucky enough to get to headline that against the undefeated fellow Australian in Brock Jarvis. So it was a big fight, big hype, but we knew there was levels to this, and there was a lot of trash talk from their camp coming into the fight, so there was a bit of animosity there. But man, if you've seen the fight, it lasted about a minute 30, so it was perfect. It was a perfect end to to the story. You couldn't write the script any better. So man, I was stoked for that one, and I was just itching to get back in the ring. It was a big long camp here in Vegas, and short lived, but you don't get paid overtime in this job, so I'll take it.
Yeah, no, the build up for that fight was crazy. And I know a few quotes of you saying you weren't going to let a kind of a kid derail your plans, and you backed up the talk with the first
No,
round knockout.
definitely. I've worked hard. There's like I said, all in the lead up. There's no shortcuts in this game, and they were trying to take a quick jump to the top. And like I said, if you're confident to beat me, I'm confident to shut you down, and that's exactly what I did in that fight. So it was good.
That's what we saw, and you'll be back in the ring March 11th in Liverpool, UK, versus Robbie Davis Jr. What can you tell us about your opponent?
Look, he's tough as my back's against the wall here. It's going to his backyard into Liverpool. I've never been to the UK, so I'm super pumped to go over there and fight this guy in his backyard. Look, this is his last chance at a good ranking. You know what I mean? I don't have to take this fight. People are saying it's risky, but I love fighting, and in my mind, if I can't beat these guys, I don't deserve that title shot. So man, I'm excited for this one. I'm very excited. I feel the pressure's all on him. He's got a lot to prove. He's got this young guy coming to his backyard, challenging him, and yeah, I'm excited, man. I hope by the end of it, I'll win over some Liverpool fans.
Yeah, most definitely. And there's definitely big things coming your way. You're highly ranked in the WBO. One thing I want to ask you about, I'm not sure if you know the reason, but you were originally ranked number one by WBO, and now see
Yeah.
that Teofimo Lopez is ranked at number one. Do you know how that came to be? Is it just kind of boxing politics?
Yeah, boxing politics, that's all it is. You know what I mean? He moved up and he was straight in that number one position. So something went on there. They tried to saying it was the same as Crawford, but Crawford never lost. He come up. He deserves it from there. He's coming
Yeah.
off a loss straight into number one position, but no, it is what it is. It's boxing's a big mental challenge, so it's just another mental aspect you got to get over and keep that tunnel vision. And I know my time will come, and the longer they wait, it's going to be worse off for them. So yeah, I just keep ticking over and improving on my ability, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you have a dream opponent in mind for the future? Would that be Josh Taylor for WBO?
Look, whoever got the belt, I just want that title shot this year. I've been sitting in the top two for the last 2.5 years, so COVID come through, that was out of our control. But man, whoever's there, I want the belts, and that's it. I want to fight everyone. I want to fight them all. I want to be the man at 140, and I just want to prove that, and that's my goal, is to just be the top dog in this division.
Yeah, and there's plenty of talent. Regis
Man,
Prograis,
he's
Ramirez,
yeah,
Catterall, yourself. So it's going to be a
yeah.
great division for many years to come.
No, definitely. It's packed, and all them guys are coming up from the 135 too. So this is going to be a big division in the next year or two for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then, is there a dream venue you would want to headline one day?
Uh Look, being here, seeing fights. I want to see the Wilder and Fury fight. T-Mobile Arena would be pretty cool. I was lucky enough to do a big show in Australia. That was a dream. Um, Look, man, Madison Square Garden, it's famous. Somewhere big like that, that's got a lot of history behind it, would be unreal to fight for a big fight in one of those venues for sure.
Yeah, great venues. And comment here from Gene Gomez saying Matias, reminding us that Subriel Matias is also at 140. Tough Puerto Rican fighter. So
Yeah, for sure. I think he's highly rated in the IBF. So yeah, man, the division's absolutely packed with talent. So whoever comes out on top is gonna be legit.
yeah, absolutely. And then what's the furthest you've had to go to get good sparring? Was it difficult in Australia, and that's kind of why you made the switch to Las Vegas?
Definitely, this is the fight capital of the world. It's very hard. Australia's very isolated from every country. To get here, it's like a 16-hour flight. So, we're getting sparring partners in, but boxing's not a first tier sport there. So you gotta make sacrifices if you want to succeed in things. And coming here was, yeah, definitely the right move. But um, look, just probably coming over here for the first few camps would be the furthest I've traveled to spar and train. So yeah.
Yeah, and then speaking of your preparation, do you watch a lot of tape on your opponents when it's available, or do you kind of leave that up to your coaches and just focus on
Um,
you?
no, I leave it up to my coaches. I believe styles make fights. Something they're looking good with someone is not going to happen against me, or vice versa. You know what I mean? So, but I have a quick look at opponents. Everyone has their go-to punches and whatnot. So I have a have a look at their style, but that's it. I've watched, honestly, probably about 2 or 3 minutes of Robbie Davies Jr. and yeah, I leave the rest up to my coaches. But I'm confident in my ability to adapt with what's in front of me coming into the ring on fight night. So yeah.
Yeah, very well said. And then who's the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with?
When I fought, sparring would be Mark Flanagan. He's a cruiserweight from Australia. But that sparring, that was when I was a young kid, because we had limited sparring up in North Queensland. So that was be Mark Flanagan. But in a fight, it would have been a guy by the name of Fatih Kellis of Turkey. He was strong as hell, man, and I was got that job done with a unanimous decision. But that he was a strong fighter, very strong fighter. So I think Fatih Kellis would be the
Nice.
hardest puncher.
One of those punches you don't want to get hit by too many of, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you just got to bite down and suck it up, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got a comment here from Gene. It says at 140, good sparring is Giancarlo Torres. I'm not familiar with him, but yeah, maybe should take a look for him. He says, "Guys sound solid mentally. Congratulations." So yeah,
Cheers,
congratulations
man.
to you, Liam.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You got to have that mentality to be a champion of the sport.
Definitely, it's boxing is a big mental challenge. So yeah, you gotta have the mind right.
Yep. And growing up, who was your favorite boxer?
Pernell Whitaker. I've always been a fan of Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace. But yeah, he's the man. I still watch him now. I don't watch heaps of boxing, but I have my go tos. Now Roy Jones has good highlights too, man. So there's a few. I like the older school fighters watching them. But my favorite would be Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Great choice. And then bringing it to present day, who do you consider to be the number one pound for pound fighter today?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. There is a lot of good fighters there at the moment. Look, Crawford, Haney would be there. Shakur Stevenson. Inspired those two guys. They're phenomenal athletes. Look, and you have to put Usyk up there too, but Bivol as well. Bivol's right up there, man. So that's a hard one. I wouldn't know what order to put them in, but have them in the top, whatever 5 or 6 I just mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this year, we'll get more great fights to define who should really be the top dog.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then just speaking of good fights, it seems like the Australian boxing scene is just on fire. We've been getting a lot of great fights. At the elite level, I would say, and a lot of names are being recognized here in the U.S. How does it feel to kind of be among that new generation that's bringing Australian boxing, worldwide?
That's a really good feeling. Australia has a lot of talent, and especially now, like you said, we've got a massive wave of fighters, and it's different. Australian boxers used to be known as just tough, gritty guys, but now we're starting to bring the skills to the table too. So it's good to be a part of that wave, and man, I hope we all keep winning and keep putting our Australia on the map. We've always been looked down upon compared to the bigger countries of boxing, but I think we're slowly starting to prove our position in the world. Yeah, so it's awesome, man, and yeah, I just hope it keeps growing.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw the most recent example was Liam Wilson against
Yeah,
Emmanuel Navarrete, and even though he lost, I think his stock went up.
yeah, I definitely it was man, it dropped him in the fight. It was look, there's a lot of politics. It's like shit going on there about the count, but hey, it is what it is, man. But congratulations to him too. That was unbelievable, man. So we've got a lot of good fighters here.
Agreed. And then for this next segment, I know you mentioned you don't watch a lot of pro fights, so it's okay if you skip some of these matchups. But I want to ask your opinion about some matchups, either confirmed or rumored, and I want you to tell me who you think would win. If it's too close to call, you can say it's 50-50, and then likewise, if you don't know too much, you can feel free to pass.
Done.
All right, first one I want to ask you about. This one's confirmed. It's Tim Tszyu versus Tony Harrison.
Look, I'm always gonna back an Aussie, man. 100%. I'm gonna go with Tim to get the job done. It's a very risky fight, though, man. He did not have to take that after Charlo was out with injury, but hats off to him for wanting the good hard fights. But yeah, I'm backing Tim.
Yeah, and I think the fact that Tony Harrison, beat Charlo would be a great test to see how he would do against a Charlo. I know it's different styles, but
definitely, man, it's gonna be a good fight.
All right, and Gene agrees with you. He's also think Tim Tszyu is going to win that one. Next one I want to ask you about will be in your weight class, Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez.
Man, I think if Josh Taylor's on, I think he'll take it out. I really do. Man, to be honest, I think Catterall should be the guy with all the belts at the moment, but that's boxing. But yeah, I'll back Josh Taylor on that one.
Yeah, another example of boxing politics. And Gene agrees with you, Taylor. All right, final fight I want to ask you about, also in your weight class. It's Regis Prograis versus Jack Catterall.
Man, good fight. But personally, I believe Prograis is the top dog in this 140 division at the moment, man. So I think I'd have to. I feel like I'd have to back him to get it done. I think he's the guy. If the one guy you want to beat in this division, I believe Prograis is the man in this division right now. So yeah, I'll have to back him.
Yeah, and Gene says 50-50, but
Yeah.
Progress looked really good against Cepeda, so
Yeah.
agree. All right, coming back to you, Liam. What are some things you like to do outside of boxing? Some of your interests and hobbies.
Well, over here, man, I just relax, just chill out. Boxing takes up a lot of time, so when I'm in camp, honestly, just chill out, play a bit of like PlayStation and stuff. Just started playing that again now, so um, honestly, in camp, man, I do nothing. I go for a hike here and there, but I honestly just love to relax and do not much. Um, yeah, look, man, boxing's a full time thing, so it's yeah, look, man, I don't know, chill out with mates when I'm back home, but yeah, that doesn't really happen much either now. So just honestly relax, man. I love to soak up a good Sunday and just chill out. So yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a good lazy Sunday.
Yeah, 100%.
And then we got a comment here from the producer. It says, "I like Liam's tattoos."
Cheers, appreciate it.
Have you got any new tattoos recently, Liam?
Nah, nothing new at the moment. I got after this fight, I'll probably head back to Australia. I got my tattooist over there, so I might add a few more, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, like you said, maybe once you have that championship, got to add another tattoo there. And then Gene says, "A nice interview. Wish the best out there."
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
All right, cheers,
Cheers.
Gene. And then Liam, what would be the best piece of advice you would give someone that's thinking about going pro and making a career out of boxing?
If you're gonna just go 2 feet into it, learn to love the process, be obsessed with the grind, and you always be the hardest worker in the room. But the biggest thing is just loving the process of it all. You gotta love it. It's be obsessed because and it takes up a lot of time. There's a lot of days you wake up questioning what you're doing, but just set your mind to it and go 100%. Give it everything you got. Like my thing was, I'd rather live a life of well instead of what if. So give it your best shot and yeah, aim for the stars and reach the moon, so to say.
Very well said. And the final question I got for you, Liam, it's not really a question. It's more so opening up the floor. What's a message you want to send to your fans and supporters?
Just thank you for all the support. Without you guys, I wouldn't be where I am. I love fighting for yous, and yeah, man, I just keep hoping making you all proud.
Well done. And everybody, make sure you follow Liam on Instagram. It's at Liam Paro Boxing. You can see it here in the banner that's scrolling below. That way you don't miss any updates on his boxing career. And Liam, thank you so much for making the time. It was good to get to know you a bit better. And we're looking forward to seeing you back in the ring in March.
No, man, thank you for having me on the show. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No problem. We'll be in touch. Thanks, champ.
Will do. Cheers, man. Thank you.
All right. Cheers, mate.